Indiana Jones. It's a podcast about Indiana Jones. Every movie, 1 minute at a time. Indiana Jones Minute.
Welcome back to the Indiana Jones Minute, the podcast in which we celebrate and discuss the film Raiders of the Lost Ark 1 minute at a time. I'm Tom Taylor.
I'm Pete Mumrich.
I'm Jerry Porter.
And I'm Doris Weiss.
Welcome back, Doris.
Hey.
All the way from Germany.
Yeah. Flew in overnight, you know.
Yeah, I mean, we should have just planned ahead and told you you'd be here at least a couple of nights, so you didn't have to fly back and then come back again. That was our fault. I'm so sorry.
If you look out the window right now, do you see the moon?
Actually, it's still light out.
Oh, look at the sun. I'll look out the window and I'll see the sun too. We're looking at the same sun.
Yeah, kind of. I'm actually looking at an apartment building, but not so interesting.
Jared, can you see the same apartment building from your window?
Oh. I'm looking at an apartment building too.
That's so romantic. It's all happening on the air. This is beautiful. All right, we're here to discuss minute 65. And minute 65 begins with Indy badly freaked out by a cobra, and it ends with Marion downing her beverage like a pro.
Well, just from a kind of a historical perspective, it's cool that this minute starts with the cobra, because the cobra was the symbol of royalty for the Egyptians. And Egyptian pharaohs would actually have a cobra that looked just like that coming out of his crown. And the cobra symbolized the goddess Wadjet and her protection of the pharaoh. So it's interesting that Indy is coming face to face with the pharaoh, basically. He's basically coming right up to Shishak. And he's taking control of what Shishak had because he's going to try to outsmart the protective cobra.
That's hysterical. And Shishak's like, if this glass box wasn't here, I swear.
Well, Indy just didn't take the hint, right?
No, still, the 20th hint.
No, yeah. And if you're Shishak, you'd be pretty pissed that after all, you lost your city and you had to sit around for, nearly 3,000 years, and you're like, I'll be damned if someone else is going to waltz in here, and
he's going to get my angry face at the very least. That's all I can do.
Mad as a wet hen.
All this angry face and wet hen. I mean, there's also a pretty good chance that Shishak melted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good question.
That's a really good question. What happened to Shishak?
It seems like he might have been really careful with the Ark. I mean, it's in like a...
No, he freaking built the Well of the Souls for it.
Yeah. So you'd think he knew the rules and didn't open it and stuff like that. So
Andy, at least we talked about this earlier. At least he put it, he got his city planners together in a way, and they're like, well, put it in a prominent location.
Yeah, put it in the Tanis Commons.
Yeah, like actually, I remember I wanted on First and Main.
Right. Unless you were talking about the fact that Shishak the snake absolutely melts in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
Which is a question I had.
It's probably the same question. Did world-renowned archaeologist Dr. Jones just discover the resting place of the Ten Commandments and then ignite it?
Probably.
I have no problem understanding that.
I mean,
he just lit the Well of the Souls on fire?
He has this history of actually destroying the stuff he discovers, so why make an exception now?
Yeah, he's like, oh, another chamber 3 that I can disturb. Check that off my list.
There's like 100-foot statue of Anubis behind him that's intact.
Yeah.
After 3,000 years, it's intact.
Doesn't take a picture or a sketch or anything.
I mean, the smoke alone would ruin the hieroglyphics.
But it's going to take out those snakes, and that's the most important thing to
Yeah.
Indy.
Well, we were talking about
Remember the boulder?
last week. There's a guy, and unfortunately, this was when you were out of town, Jerry. There was a guy in the background in a lot of these shots that I was saying might be an undercover archaeologist. He's kind of like Indy's kind of sneaking into the camp to try to find the Ark, and there's another guy that's trying to sneak into the camp to document all these sites before Belloq and Indy destroy them. So I'm hoping that this guy's like one of the guys looking down through the opening up there.
Actually, there is one in there. If I remember correctly, I read that Spielberg, they did a scene. There is this young archaeologist. He's actually taking notes and sketching stuff, and then is disturbed by Indy pushing. So I'm jumping ahead there, pushing the boulder out where he actually escapes with Marion from the Well of the Souls.
Oh, yeah.
And I think because they couldn't do a reshoot of the scene, there's still a little bit of him in there in the scene.
Oh, weird.
Wow.
That's when they're coming out of the Well of Souls later on?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
when they push
I gotta
that,
look for
that stone out. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, originally they come out and there's a guy standing there, and he's like, huh? That's a very,
Punch.
then he takes the bourbon out of his tunic and tosses it away. Never again.
Well, then he's just going to run right back through that hole and try to sketch everything really quickly before it burns down.
Yeah, sketch all the rubble.
Yeah, but there is this guy who's doing a proper job, like sketching stuff, taking pictures, measuring, and there is this bully who just destroys everything.
Got the Ark.
He doesn't even get to keep it, right?
That's true. From what I've heard.
Actually mind-blowing. I mean, I know we talk about this all the time, but this one is egregious.
Also, it seems like we joke about Indy not having a plan really, or half a plan, but he immediately has a bucket of gasoline at the ready. Like, did somebody have to run back to town to get this, or is it just right there? Like I heard Sala's wife in my head going, "Where did this gasoline can come from?"
Well, I wonder, did somebody lower it? I mean, you missed that whole part. You're like, yeah, you immediately was that lowered in? Like first they see the snakes, and then like, well, I know as much as I hate snakes hate gasoline, fire. Like
They don't, obviously.
no.
Nah, poor snakes.
Yeah.
It is actually though. I mean, it's terrible archaeology, but it is good symbolism because on some of the pyramid texts, the Egyptian priests would depict Ra, the falcon-headed sun disk, defeating Apep, the serpent, with fire.
Oh,
Well,
Indy is an instrument of the gods,
Yes.
and the gods hate everything and just want everything to be busted.
come over tonight, Pete, will you? I love the stories, man.
Oh, you too.
Yeah.
That is a cool shot, though. I mean, we make fun of Indy, but we can't make fun of this movie because it's awesome. When he's spraying the gas everywhere, and he tosses that torch right in our faces, and we all go up in flames. That's pretty awesome.
And everything in the whole scene, not just the snakes, everything is slithering.
Right.
Like there's a rope, the rope which he descended. Yeah, that's behind him, kind of slithering in the background, and then he pulls out the gas tube, the gasoline tube can thing, and he starts shaking it, and the gas comes out, and it's like we're fighting snakes with snakes.
And have you listened to the music in this scene? This is awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Is this more of that high, fluty, trilly kind of stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of reminded me, and this maybe I'm off way again, it kind of reminded me of the soundtrack of Fahrenheit 451.
Oh my gosh.
Which is, of course, about someone setting fire.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Flamethrowers.
Yeah, what temperature do snakes burn at? Do we know?
I don't know.
Ray Bradbury never got to that one. So as we go up in flames, we cut back to Renee and Marion. Why did I just call him Renee?
Why
Why did I call him Renee?
Stop it. Why did you do that?
Oh my gosh.
Maybe the dress was for Tom.
Yeah, his charms are getting to me. Oh my god. Wow.
Oh,
Anyway,
Jesus, go take a shower.
I might have to after this. So they are they're getting cozy. She's sitting down with him. She's coming on very, very smooth and sexy. But do we think that Renee is just totally buying this, or is he playing her a little bit? Like, what's going on here?
They're playing each other, I think.
I mean, they both want something, and they're both. He's into her, but we're assuming not into him. So
that's it. That's an amazing you pour.
It is. That's.
That would get me to just. I'd be like, chaperone, get the hell out of here.
That would get me to pour.
Yeah, that would get me to pour.
The whole bottle.
And I think what's interesting. I think we maybe for once we see Belloq's Achilles heel here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because I think he is. I mean, females maybe are kryptonite to him. He can't.
Yeah.
It's like if you want to say, if only you spoke celibacy.
If only you spoke handshakes from across the table.
Going back to the novelization of that thing, there's actually a scene in there where it says that Marion is actually very much attracted to Belloq, and she kind of debates in her head if she should actually go for it, and they kiss. None of that is in the film. I don't get a feeling from her that she's attracted to him. I think she's just playing him.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm glad that's not in there. That would have freaked me out.
That would have freaked me out too.
There's a lot in the novelization that freaks me out.
Yes. And it's almost all about Marion too, isn't it?
Yeah.
In her defense, she runs into Indy, and Indy finds out she's alive.
Yeah.
And he leaves her there, the jerk.
He loves ditching Marion. He loves it.
Yeah. He loves his gold.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
maybe she's just like, I just got to get out of this any way I can. Indiana Jones or no Indiana Jones.
Yeah, like guys have been screwing me over all this time. Maybe I'll just start jerking other people around. I got to get out of here. Where's my $3,000?
She's used to fending for herself, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She can handle herself. I'm not worried about her. She's gonna be all right.
Maybe that's why her you pour is so amazing.
Yeah, because she sells it. I mean, like, especially if she's faking it, if she's playing him, it's like, boy, that was good. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, we've been talking a lot about in the last few weeks about how Belloq and Indy are mirror images of each other, and this, I think, is a fantastic example of that, because Belloq is sitting there, and behind him you see the blue lightning flashing through the tent, and so he's sort of bathed in this blue lightning, and you hear the thunder, but it's like the light almost overpowers him when he's sitting there, so it's like he's trying to get what he wants, but Indy is kind of overshadowing him out trying to get what he wants. And they're both pouring. Like Belloq pours, and then Indy's pouring the gasoline.
And then Belloq sets Marion on fire. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I like that they're both pouring. Well, and I thought, and this scene is reminiscent of another toasting scene, right? Previous, where you're like, Marcus.
Oh, interesting.
Marcus. Like Marcus, Belloq is measured in his alcoholic intake. And Marion is reckless.
Yeah.
Apparently, I mean, she can hold her liquor. I mean, that's kind of her superpower. But she downs it the same as Indy.
Yeah.
Just reckless, and
I'm still assuming this is like white wine or something. Is downing white wine a thing? Like, is that impressive? I don't know.
Well, it's a sign of not having any taste. But
That's kind of what I'm thinking, yeah.
Actually, I think this is some kind of schnapps or something. What is it they drink there? Raki? Some kind of anise?
Yeah, I thought it was grappa.
Well, it's his, right? It's his. It's from
family
his
label.
Family, yeah. So whatever they do in France.
It's definitely not wine because it's a totally clear liquid.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
couldn't it be white wine?
It's
Oh, but it's like
definitely
totally
white
clear,
wine.
you're saying.
Yeah, I think
But
it's
you
like a grappa or a limoncello or something.
And I mean,
Okay.
as a French guy, even if he's not that much of a drinker, would he be drunk like that? I mean, he is clearly intoxicated after a half bottle of white wine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, he swills it. He takes a sip and then swills it like that whole wine thing. Like, let me invite the bouquet into the and in my mouth and the senses. And he kind of does a little like he's an expert wine taster, and that's why it's Marion just down. She just throws it back. It shows poor taste, or a woman who really knows what she's doing.
Or she's never seen wine before, or whatever it is. She's only seen like hooch, Nepalese mountain hooch, and whiskey, and a beverage. It smells vaguely alcoholic. Nope. It's the only way she drinks anything.
Is that her trying to recreate the drinking game from before? Like, I've always won these drinking games, so I can beat this guy.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
She's
there's
like,
no question. And that's why she's getting him to engage. Like, and I think she's kind of getting him to loosen up. Like, hey, if I get a little, I'm down to party.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm down to party. You got me the dress. We're all good. Thumbs up. The chaperone's gone.
You seen my back naked?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the peeping Tom.
Yeah, really.
Renee.
Well, I mean,
Marion
what is
doesn't
he
really-
actually doing with Marion there, though? Does he just like? Because he obviously, we know he actually just has the hots for Marion, and then he kind of has to make this deal with the Nazis,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's,
that may be later minutes, but
on the surface he wants information from her, but there might be other things he wants from her too. He's Pepe Le Pew.
I get the impression that like the wine showed up in the exact same shipment as the dress.
Maybe. My stuff's here.
Yeah.
My kit. My female interrogation kit.
Yeah.
I'm all set.
Or maybe he's simply just out for a cozy night.
Could be.
It's like his adult prom kit.
Right.
Yeah.
Got my chaperone, got my dress, got my wine or whatever it is.
Break glass in case of emergency.
Break glass in case of girl intent.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have anything else for this minute? Doris, we should ask you. What you were going to tell us
Yeah.
the German translation of the title of this movie.
Yeah, so the German title is Jäger des verlorenen Schatzes, which translates as Hunters of the Lost Treasure. So no hint as to what treasure they're hunting. And the title is still the same. They did a new dub in the Blu-ray version, but the title stayed the same. So.
Interesting. Hunters of the what treasure?
Of the Lost Treasure.
Hunters of the Lost Treasure. I don't hate that. That's all right. I mean, it sounds very like 50s, like, more like the serials that they're aping.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good.
I'll buy it. Yeah, I thought it was going to be much worse, like Hat Man and the Adventure of the Bad People.
That sounds like the title says they had floating around for Indie 4.
Oh, that's the next movie.
Right. They've given up.
Well, it's not worse than Indiana Jones and the Gallstone or something.
The most sacred stone of all. Well, is it weird watching movies like this in Germany because the Germans, like a kind of German who is not around anymore, is the bad guy? Is there anything weird about that?
No, we're used to it, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Germany itself makes a lot of movies about the Nazi era. So
Interesting.
it's not something that we're not used to seeing. We're also very much used to being the bad guys in movies, which we're, as a nation, I think, quite fine because in general, we all agree that Nazism was bad. So being the bad guys in the movie and being defeated is not something that we find annoying or insulting. I mean, there are some cliches in those movies, although I have to say this one comes across as pretty well done in that case. And can I add something that I find nice?
Sure.
Dietrich. Actually, the German pronunciation would be Dietrich. Sala does it pretty well.
Oh, okay. Sala. God bless him.
Yeah, that's of course because John Rhys Davies is Welsh and they can pronounce the sound. I think up to the third draft of the script, he was called Schliemann.
Oh, like
And
Heinrich?
of course, Heinrich Schliemann is the German granddaddy of archaeology.
Oh, interesting.
He is the one who discovered Troy.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And of course, they changed all the names so there would be no reflection to actual people, even if they're long, long dead and gone.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing that you say that they have done a good job in this movie, particularly with representing Germans, because I've said before on here that I'm always amazed that it turns out that any of the German in this movie is actually legitimate German. That any of it is. I know not all of it can be, but I always assume that all of it is just gibberish for American audiences, and they're not going to know the difference or something.
Of course, in most people talking German in the movie, you notice they have an accent as a German. So you know it's an American or an English person talking German, but the German just makes sense. And there's actually one in there. I think it was a German tourist they just picked up on the set in Tunisia and put him in a uniform. And you notice that is a real German talking.
Oh,
I think
wow.
it is in that scene cut where there was a scene where Sulla is discovered with the rope
Yeah.
in the map room, and Sulla is about to be shot by a German soldier, and that German soldier is a real German.
Oh, in
And
the
of course,
cutscene, you mean?
Wolf
Yeah.
Kahler is German too, so the one who plays Dietrich.
Right.
But the German does make sense in that movie, whereas in Crusade, they actually talk gibberish. So
Oh, they do really?
Oh, wow.
I don't want to say that's awesome, but it's kind of awesome.
it is German.
It's so
it is
silly.
German, but the way they put sentences together, it doesn't make any sense.
It's exactly what I thought. It's exactly what I thought.
That's what I thought about this movie too. That's incredible.
Yeah, but they're just sleepwalking through it.
Yeah.
They already got their golden idol treasure after this one.
That's going to be a bit of a theme, I think, going forward.
Well, in Germany, you wouldn't notice that because it's dubbed over anyway. They all talk German in that film.
Oh, that's a good point.
That's a good point. Yeah. Wow. Well, it's been awesome having you on, Doris.
Thanks. It's
Yeah.
been fun.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining
us.
us. And thank you for giving some credence to the German aspects of this movie, which I assumed were bunk.
Oh, well, you have to go 2 movies ahead for a little bit of bunk.
Just a little bit of bunk. And thanks too for online supporting and praising Pete's various pronunciations and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, we should ask you since you're here. What? I'm still unclear. Pete was like 90% on what Tote might be saying when he goes net in Marion's bar. Do you have any idea what he's saying there?
It's Nick.
Actually,
It's Nick.
Stop it, Jerry. Stop
Nick.
it.
It's Nick. The person is called Nick. Yeah.
You think that? I'm cutting this out.
Wonderfully Nepalese.
That is weird.
Oh, Doris, I love you.
Thanks for nothing, Doris. All right. Well, Pete, where can people go to rub my nose in it that maybe the guy says Nick?
You can go to our Facebook page and definitely rub Tom's nose in it and tell us how much you like Nick, and find us at indianajonesminute.com.
If anything, he says net or niet. He's like speaking Russian or something.
Wrong movie.
It is. I don't know.
Doris, there you go.
Stop it. I reject this all. I'm erasing this entire episode, not by accident. No, seriously, Doris, this has been awesome. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And everyone, please join us next time for minute 66 of Raiders of the Lost Ark here on the Indiana Jones Minute.
You poor. Jones?
Jones.
I'm pouring.